Hello everybody and welcome back to a new video. My name is Sarah and you may notice this looks a little bit different or maybe a tiny bit familiar because I've done this before. But today I'm doing a tier ranking of the books that I read from July to December of 2021. Now this right here that you see is my tier ranking of the books that I read from January to June of 2021. So I just wanted to kind of pull this up, refresh your memory. I will be using these same kind of tier name things. So for the absolute favorites, the book ranking thingy is going to be My Anxiety is Chronic, but this book is iconic. Kind of the next step down will be A Treasure, and then there will be books that like I enjoyed but had a pretty significant issue with. Like I still liked them, but there was just something about them that it knocked it down from The Treasure. And then the next one, it will be It's Not You, It's Me. So there'll be books that I recognize as being good, but there are aspects of it that just aren't to my personal preference. And then there's Who Are You Again? These are the books that I just completely forgot because they were so unmemorable, or they're books that I wish I forgot because I just really did not like them. And then God No, Please No is saved for the absolute worst books that I read during these months. So like I said, these are the books that I read and tier ranked from January to June. So take a good look, enjoy, because we're switching to July through December. So these are all loaded in according to like alphabetical order, not according to the order that I read them in. So we're just gonna start right off. We've got A Dance of Thieves. So I remember when I read this one, my issue, it would have been It's Not You, It's Me, because I think it would have helped a lot if I read the like original trilogy that's set in this world. It would have helped a lot with like the world building. However, like the original trilogy, it's not like directly related to this first book in the duology, but like I said, it would have helped. However, I feel like it is a pretty forgettable book, so I'm actually going to put in Who Are You Again. And then the next three actually are the second, third, and fourth, well, third, fourth, and second because of how they appear alphabetically, but they're the second, third, and fourth book in the Ember Quartet, so I'm actually going to do them by 2, 3, 4. So we're going to do Torches Against the Night first, and they're all kind of similar, because weirdly with this series, I remember reading it. I really enjoyed reading them. Like while I was reading them, I had a lot of fun. They're really fast paced. Just the different storylines and following kind of our three different perspectives that we have, and each of their separate storylines that kind of interweave. Is super interesting and really fun to read. However, by the time I finished each book, I really don't remember what I read. It's really weird. I haven't really had that often at all with books that I know I enjoyed. That usually just happens with books that like I didn't have fun with. So yeah, this is kind of a weird thing, and so that's why I think A Torch Against the Night and also A Sky Beyond the Storm, the second and fourth book, are gonna go with It's Not You, It's Me. However, A Reaper of the Gates is gonna go in A Treasure because I remember this is the one that I loved the absolute most out of this whole quartet. The pacing is super fast for all four of these books. However, with like the first, the second, and the fourth book, I felt like there were significant chunks where the pacing didn't fit. However, I thought it was perfect for Reaper of the Gates, which is why I'm putting it in A Treasure. Beasts of a Little Land is next. So I'm gonna be honest, this is going to go in It's Not Me, It's You, because I did enjoy this book. However, like, I liked how it was told over the course of 50 years through like a series of little like vignettes following all these different characters. However, there just wasn't enough detail and time spent to really get a sense of like emotion with the characters. So I'm putting it It's Not You, It's Me. Beast of Extraordinary Circumstance is going to go in a treasure because this book reminds me of like a more whimsical version of Forrest Gump, and I think that's all you need to know going into it. It's a lot of fun. So then Born, we're gonna put in It's Not Me, It's You. I really like Jeff Vandermeer's works. They're really, really strange. However, this one had a really, again, weird pacing for me. It was really odd and it didn't fit at times, and so I had a hard time like really getting into it. But once I did get into it, I just really enjoyed the strangeness of this and the strangeness of the whole world. I feel like this one is by far the weirdest setting, where it lacks a lot of like, I guess, real world feeling context to it, if that makes sense. Cemetery Boys, definitely going in a treasure. I absolutely love this. I actually listened to the audiobook of this one. The narrator is phenomenal. And I just really, really love this story. It's so heartwarming and just one of those really feel-good books that is, I feel like, really good for any age. However, it does read on the younger side of YA. But I think it's just kind of an important book for anybody to read. And certain dark things, this is actually gonna go in Who Are You again, because I did forget that I read this one until I saw it on the list. Um, and I just wasn't really impressed with it when I did read it. I know this is like an earlier work of Sylvia Moreno Garcia's, and it's now being like republished. It was way too short for everything that was going on, and I think if it had a lot more like bulk to it, we could have spent a lot more time with the story and the characters, and I would have actually cared about it a lot more. Daughter of the Moon Goddess is gonna go in It's Not Me, It's You, because this was a lot of fun. However, it was like way too fast paced to the point where it was overwhelming. I really liked the story and how it felt like the first season and like the first two like prequels of the Witcher series, where it was very episodic and like each chapter was kind of like an adventure that could almost stand on its own. But yeah, it got almost overwhelming to read, and that's why it's going here. For the Wolf, this book is iconic. This is actually in my top 10, so I will not talk about it a whole lot because I just talked about it in my top 10 video at length, but I just absolutely love the atmosphere, the writing style, the characters, everything. This was such a fun book. For Dead Queens, I think it's gonna go in Who Are You again. I remember being really disappointed in how this ended. I was impressed with what the author was trying to do. I think there was a lot of ambition behind this book, but the execution just did not do it for me. And like, I remember I really liked the world a lot and kind of the details that were put into this world and kind of the 4 separate quadrants and how it reminded me of the Divergent series. However, yeah, I think it's gonna go down here. Girl A is also gonna go down here. We're really having a rough go. This like first part of this second half of the year. Girl A, slow when I got disinterested. I remember at the beginning I was really curious about it, but yeah, it did not do it for me, and I actually don't remember a lot about it because I kind of just forgot about it. Alright, this next one, The Graceland, I'm gonna probably create some enemies by this, but I'm putting this down here. I did not like this book at all. I was so bored. I thought the main character overreacted and reacted really weirdly in many situations. It did not do it for me. I did not like it at all. And I know a lot of people really like this series, but yeah, it was not for me. I did not like it. House of Hollow, iconic. Again, this is in my top 10, and I did just talk about it, but if you like creepy body horror and very visceral imagery, definitely check this one out. Into the Heartless Wood, I think, is gonna also go in God No, Please No. Because again, it just did not do it for me. I hated some of the choices that the author made stylistically. I thought that they were ambitious choices, but they were so poorly executed. The book got really predictable to the point where it was boring, and I just didn't feel the emotion that the author was really trying to evoke from the reader. It just was not there at all, and I just did not care. Iron Widow, iconic. Iconic. If you want feminine rage and you want mecha battles in ancient China, check out Iron Widow. This was in my top 10. Same with Legendborn. Iconic. I don't like King Arthur Legends, and this is very much based off of King Arthur, but I absolutely love this book. It was phenomenal. I love Bree as a character. Tracy Deonne's writing style is so like commanding of your attention, and I just really enjoyed this one. Mistborn is a treasure for sure. I had a lot of fun with this one. This is my first Brandon Sanderson book that I've ever read, and I really enjoy how unique and detailed his magic systems are. And I liked Vin and Kelsier as characters a lot. I thought they were both extremely fun to read about and read from their perspectives, and they're just very unique characters as well, particularly Kelsier. I also really liked the heist in a very high fantasy setting plotline. My Heart is a Chainsaw is iconic. This is, again, in my top 10. Lots of top 10 books in the second half of this year. Yeah, if you like horror, slashers, if you like characters with very intense inner monologues, definitely check this book out. Phenomenal. Plain Bad Herons is a treasure. This is a very slow-paced gothic horror with a sense of like creeping dread throughout the entirety of it. It's also a multimedia in this book, and I just had a lot of fun with how messy these characters were. Project Hail Mary is also a treasure. See, now we're starting to get like back into like the treasures and all, like a lot of the top rated books. I had a lot of fun with this one. I loved The Martian, and so I think I loved The Martian more than Project Hail Mary though. However, this was just a lot of fun. It definitely made me cry a few times. But yeah, I recommend it if you liked The Martian. And then Six Gun Tarot as a treasure. This one took me by surprise. So this is a book that I buddy read with kind of a secret guest person for the channel, but like we haven't done the video review yet because they only just recently finished it, and I finished this like 3 months ago. We picked it out together, but they were the one to suggest it, and I had never heard of this book, but it's a weird Wild West is kind of how it's described. And if you like some of the earlier seasons of Supernatural, particularly like season 3 through maybe 6, well, even like 3 through 7 or 8, I think you will like this book a lot. Sold on a Monday. So I liked this book, but it didn't like, there wasn't anything particularly wrong with it. It just didn't quite hit where I was wanting it to, so I'm actually gonna put it on It's Not You, It's Me, because like there's not, like I said, nothing particularly like that I didn't like about it. I guess it didn't settle into my heart the way some of these other books have. The Atlas 6 is also It's Not You, It's Me. I liked how messy these characters were, but I kind of wanted a lot more of like the fantasy element of it and like the magic and kind of an actual plot instead of character studies and very character focused story that we got. And I like character focused stories, but just with what this book was like advertised as, I was expecting a lot more like actual plot involved. The Dark Tide, I feel really bad because I remember that I liked this one, but it's kind of a forgettable book, to be honest. So I kind of want to put it in Who Are You again, but I feel like it doesn't belong there because I really liked the imagery and like general storyline. It was a fun plot, so I don't feel like it belongs down this low. I don't know where to put it, to be honest. I think I'm just gonna put it here. It's not me, it's you. That feels right. That just feels right. We're not even gonna question it. That feels right. Devil in Dark Water is a treasure. It was nearly iconic. It was so close, except the very, 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 very end. There was something that happened that I was just like, we could have done without that. I didn't like the decision at all. But if you like complex supernatural mysteries set on the ocean, you will like this book. It's a lot of fun. It's got some really, really cool characters. Yeah, it was a fun mystery. It was really fun. And Turton does a really good job of like having everything unraveled and explained to you, like just laid out on the table without it feeling like it's just info dumping, if that makes sense. Like when everything is revealed because it's so complex. I just really liked how he did his reveal. In The House in the Dark in the Woods, it's not me, it's you, because I feel like I would have really liked this book a lot more if the writing style wasn't so dry. Like, it's such a short book, but I felt like it dragged on because the writing was just killing me. The like horror element was fun. It wasn't like super super scary, but it had that unsettling feeling of like being in a really creepy forest and like being followed or watched, but you can't see what's following and watching you. And it had some really obviously creepy events that happened, and I just really liked that. But yeah, the writing style just like killed me. The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet is definitely a treasure. I loved this book so much. This is definitely a character-driven story, but I went into it knowing that, and so I was like prepared for that, and how it's very character-focused, and it feels like a very slice of life science fiction, and it's just so much fun. These characters are just really unique and vibrant, and I loved how Becky Chambers wrote them. The Lost Apothecary is gonna have to go in Who Are You again. I know, like, I knew while I was reading it that it was gonna be a super forgettable book. I was like halfway through and I was like, I'm just not feeling it with this one. Like, I don't know, man. I don't know. The Maidens, no. No. No, I have a vlog where I read this one, so if you want my full thoughts and my ranting about how much I was disappointed with this book, I'll try to remember to link the vlog below. The Raven King is definitely a treasure. This was the final book in the Raven Boys series, and I loved it. I cried. I just loved how everything felt very cyclical by the end. And it just felt so perfect with how the atmosphere and the way that the rest of the series has been written. I just love these characters so, so much, and I love the whole witchy vibe of the story. It was a lot of fun. The Well of Ascension, I enjoyed, but it's gonna go in It's Not Me, It's You, because I think it definitely suffered from second book slump syndrome, where like the second book in a trilogy is just basically there to tie everything that happened in the first book to everything that is going to happen in the third book, and it's just kind of boring because you're just trying to get to the third book's stuff. It's just kind of like a bridge, and it definitely suffered from that. I did like how Sanderson did a lot of introspection for the characters. However, that started to drag for me, and I think it could have been cut down a bit. The Whisperman as a Treasure, I liked this book a lot. I read Alex North's The Shadows I guess last year would be 2021, and these are the books I'm talking about in 2021. So I read The Shadows in 2020, and it made it in my top 10. This one, I loved The Whisperman. However, I didn't love it as much as The Shadows. But if you like crime thrillers, but with like an extra dose of creepy and unsettling, definitely check out Alex North. If you like more creepy and unsettling on the side of horror, I would check out The Shadows. If you don't want it necessarily horror, then The Whisper Man is probably a good way to go. And then The Wolf of Orion is iconic. This is in my top 10. This is a super, super intricate, complex political fantasy with a character that is very nuanced and has two separate identities where like they're portraying one identity but their like actual personality is completely different, and it's just really well done, and I had a lot of fun with this one. These are the 35 books that I read from July to December of 2021. It's kind of funny. I read 35 in January to June, and then I read 35 from July to December, so I split it quite exactly down the middle. I had a lot of fun. I like doing these types of videos. If you've read any of these books, please let me know down in the comments. If you think any of them should be at a different ranking, let me know, because I'd love to hear kind of where you would place some of these. But always, thank you so much for watching. I hope you consider sticking around and subscribing, and as always, I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!